Mr. Davis, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks very much for taking out the time. If you can hear me, I'll just go straight into my first question for you, which is post the current liquidity crunch, do you believe that has drowned out competition of smaller NBFCs, which in turn implies that for larger branded names, there has been a market share migration? Sorry about that. What I was talking about.
I couldn't hear you very well. Could you repeat that question, please?
All right, I'm going to make one more attempt loudly. Mr. Davis, what I was trying to understand is, has there been a market share migration from smaller NBFCs to branded NBFCs because of this liquidity crisis that the NBFC sector has experienced?
Good morning to your viewers on ET Now. Yeah, the question you asked about the migration from the NBFCs to other lenders. I think there has been some migration because the supply from the NBFCs has been under pressure. So there has been some movement. But at the same time, it's not yet very visible. So if the NBFC situation can be regularized in a very speedy way, then I think the movement would be very limited. But I think in terms of the small finance banks, the objectives and that they have set for themselves are in place, including that of what Ujjivan has done. So we are working according to plan. Some of the opportunities that come up as a result of what's happening in the market will be taken. But we have to make sure that we don't go haywire and observe and carefully ensure that the credit criteria that we have put in place always stays focused.
Right. Mr. Davis, Ujjivan has launched 4 new products. What is the growth there, and do you see the share of non-MFI loans picking up over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, the non-MFI loans, we are introducing several new products. So I think, over a period of time, the share of these products will increase because they are starting from a smaller base and they are growing quite fast. However, the MFI loans is still our bread and butter business. It will still be something that we will continue to focus upon. But as the business grows, the share of the MFI loans will come down from where it is today. It's around 89–88%. So that may come down over the next 3 years to around 60%, and 40% will be made up from all other products.
Okay. Also wanted to understand the fact that bank plans to cover about 75% of its total assets by deposits, wherein currently retail deposits contribute to over about 31% of the total deposit base. What is the strategy to do so?
The strategy to grow deposits, and I think that's your question again, the audio is not very clear, but the strategy to grow our deposits is that now we have our banking base and branches more or less open. By the end of this financial year, 90% of our branches will be up and running as bank branches. That will help us to mobilize deposits. And in addition to that, we are looking at specialized products for our customer base. We have introduced the Senior Citizens program, which has been very successful. We'll be adding a couple of other specialized products to this. And I think this sort of offering and the services that we are providing will enhance and grow the deposit base to take it in as a percentage of the loans, increase the percentage as we go along. And eventually the idea is in 3 years the deposit base should be contributing to funding most of the loans.
Okay. Give us your sense, Mr. Davis, what is the expected AUM growth that you're penciling in over the next 2 to 3 years? The growth has been around 53% compounded annual growth over FY14 to FY18. With the base now being higher, what is the expected growth projection?
Yeah, the growth projections that we had in place for our asset business is around 25 to 30%, and I think we are on target to achieve that. Into the new financial year, we may be able to grow a little faster now that our infrastructure is all in place, and we are able to concentrate on growing the business after the branches have been put in place. So I think that is very important. The infrastructure is all here. So this has been a year in which we have been consolidating the infrastructure, testing new products, so that the new financial year 19-20 is going to be a really good year in terms of actually rolling out these products. We are testing some of the new products also in some of the branches before we roll them out to make sure that they have all the requirements and all the glitches are taken care of. So eventually, 2019 is when all the products that we have tested, prepared, launched will be really been put into the market, and I think that is going to make a difference.
Okay. Axis Capital has highlighted that regulations require Ujjivan to list the small finance bank within 3 years, and it is evaluating various options. This is one of the key near-term challenges for the company. What will you say about that?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the question. Could you repeat that?
My question essentially was on the listing of your small finance bank and the regulations surrounding it. What is the update that you could share on that front?
Yeah, I think the listing is a 3-year requirement, which means by January 31st, 2020, we have to do the listing. So, we are still evaluating a lot of the options. We have had discussions with investment banks, with our lawyers, as well as with the tax consultants. It is an expensive proposition, and I hope, our regulators will understand that issue. And I think that is an important factor. I mean, we are here for financial inclusion, to provide greater service to the community, and that is our objective. So, while these additional costs have to be managed, but I think it is something that the regulator should keep in mind and should try to look at in terms of the current structure, because we currently have 80,000 shareholders. So in fact, through the holding company, one step removed. So in fact, we are a widely held institution through the holding company. So the objectives of listing are sort of met, but I think, if we have to list, then we will finally have to come to a decision in the second half of the new financial year 2019-20. But right now we are making the evaluation, the options. We will take a decision at the next board meeting in terms of the course of action that we need to follow.
Okay. And we wish you the very best for your future plans. Mr. Davis, thanks very much for taking out the time to speak with us this morning, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you very much, and good wishes to your viewers. Thank you.
Great.